on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today is Monday. That's right, back on the grind. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you had a great weekend, but back to reality. What's going on with Bitcoin? Well, as usual, Coin360 is a little bit behind on the Bitcoin price. You see, they're saying we're down 0.76%. However, currently, Bitcoin did actually just dip down all the way to $7,248 literally a couple minutes ago at the time of making this video. Could be totally different by the time that you see this. Now, why did Bitcoin take this dip? Well, we did have a CME futures gap that we did have to fill. We do know today is Monday, but that's not what I wanted to make today's video about. What I wanted to talk about essentially was Bitcoin having what is referred to as a golden setup. And I also want to talk about one particular indicator, which has happened 10 times now. The last time it happened, Bitcoin pumped over 288%. And the time before that, well, even more, and currently it's flashing again. So I do want to look at that, but we do know that possibly moving into 2020, it is a very different landscape. We have a lot of different Bitcoin instruments with these options and futures and paper Bitcoin, right? So I'm going to get into all of that today, but we do have one very prominent analyst who is very confident in the price of Bitcoin reaching new all-time highs next year. And if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. Also, if you are not subscribed to the Crypto Zombie channel, we do this every single day. Today is Monday, and we are giving away the double ledger Nano SX pack. So that'll be at the end of the video. If you're interested, drop a comment on any video throughout the course of the week and you are eligible now. Let's give this a quick refresh live. Bitcoin saying it's sitting around 7,338 overall on CoinMarketCap. You are noticing Bitcoin dominance has pulled back a little bit. We actually were seeing the altcoins having a bit of a rally overnight. Bitcoin started to take a hit. Looks like they're having a hit with it. However, if we do switch to the Bitcoin comparative, well, we still do have some altcoins that look like they're currently somewhat outpacing Bitcoin. Some of the big gainers today, for example, we do have BitTorrent, Ados, Canine, not sure what that is, Waves, Digix, DAO, Horizon, Theta, Basic Attention Token, Lisk, Augur, and Bytecoin. Now let's hop in. Let's have a look at these charts, guys, because essentially right here, we basically need to get above $7,553 if we do want to close December out with a nice green candle. Now, it's not that crazy to get that price. I mean, really, essentially, all we have to do basically is just, go up about 4.2%. I don't think that's out of the cards for Bitcoin, but we do have to see what's going on with that. Not to mention that we do have some orchestrated Bitcoin FUD in the media. We're going to talk about that, right? Now, we did have a CME futures gap. We do look to close these gaps. Now, currently, having a look right here, it does look like the gap got closed by the wick over on the daily. If we zoom in on the 4-hour, looks like maybe we're not 100% sure if we actually closed the gap or not. Looks like we might be trying to push down a little bit lower, but I do think the daily holds a lot more weight. On the daily, we did close. However, I want to point out one thing. Now, if you guys follow Willy Woo, he's behind Wood Bull charts. He actually mentioned, now this was on December 7th. I'm bringing this up again because it is very applicable to today's video. He basically said on-chain momentum is crossing into bullish, right? He says, prepare for the halving, front running here. He says this indicator tracks investor momentum. The bottom is most likely in. Anything lower will just be quick wicks in the macro view. And we have seen buyers buying up these dips, right? Every time it dips down, instantly it gets bought back up, right? Now, Alex Kruger was saying, well, why you were bearish, right? A couple weeks ago, you flipped to bullish. He says, well, typically when on-chain switches to bullish, price action follows 4 to 6 weeks later. Now, keep that number in mind because we're going to come back to that moving forward. Now, here is the indicator, guys. So essentially right here, what we're looking at is basically this right here, which is hash ribbons and Bitcoin bottoms. Now, we're basically looking at a buy signal, and currently we got one. It actually started trying to put in the buy signal sort of around November 17th, but we got full confirmation on it right around December 16th, and it looks like it's coming to a close at around January 8th. Now, here's the interesting part. January 8th, well, going back to this tweet, December 7th, January 8th, that's about 1 month away from the time that Willy Woo actually put out this tweet, and he did say typically it follows 4 to 6 weeks later. So 4 weeks later would actually be January 7th, January 8th, around that time, right? So that's the crazy part. But what the heck is this all about? Why is it even important? What is the significance of it? Well, you could basically refer back to this article, Hash Ribbons and Bitcoin Bottoms. Now, this came out on October 29th from Charles Edwards, but it's still perfectly applicable today. You can see Bitcoin's difficulty is adjusted every 2016 blocks, roughly every 2 weeks, right? On the other hand, Bitcoin's effective hash rate is calculated daily based on the actual number of blocks found by miners each day. So, because of this, difficulty effectively lags the hash rate by around 2 weeks, right? Therefore, difficulty is somewhat of a lagging indicator for miner capitulation. Now, scrolling down here, a simple 1 to 2 month moving average of Bitcoin's hash rate can be used to identify market bottoms, miner capitulation, and even better, great times to buy Bitcoin. So when the 1 month SMA of the hash rate crosses over the 2 month SMA of the hash rate, the worst of the miner capitulation is typically over and the recovery has begun. Buying at these points of time yields incredible results. In fact, we'll get to the chart in just a second. Of the 9 historic buy signals, the average gain to the next market cycle peak, historically less than 3 years away, is over 5,000%. But even if we don't go as far as to look at what it's going to be in 3 years, we can just take the short-term signal, right? So for example, you could see if we were to buy right at the end of this buy signal, which was around January 22nd, okay, and we'll just do some really just super quick, super quick calculations here, from bottom to top, that would have been a 300% increase, or actually it was closer to around, like I said, 288%. But even had you not sold and just simply bought at that buy signal, and you were still holding Bitcoin today after having the pullback from the 14K top, you would still be up 104%. And that's not even to consider what's going to happen long term to Bitcoin. And obviously, guys, I'm not going to go into the time we had the last buy signal. That was around $550. So yeah, that was a pretty incredible, massive move. And currently, guys, we are putting in a buy signal right now. So let me know what you think about it. Should we be taking this with a grain of salt? Are all of these indicators just, they don't work anymore? It's a whole totally different animal. Well, I do want to actually talk about Bitcoin being a totally different animal in just a second. But one of my favorite analysts, Bob Lucas, if you guys aren't following him, you got to follow this guy. He says Bitcoin closing near the 7K area, where my thoughts 12 months ago in my first video basically said we would be. If Bitcoin bull narrative remains true, which he does say he believe it is, we should see Bitcoin begin to turn higher over the next 2 months, then a solid steady climb towards all-time highs by the end of 2020 and exceed in 2021. Now some people are saying, Bob Lucas, what are you doing? This is irrational for you to make these crystal ball predictions. Well, he says in the absolute bear case, after a 6-month downtrend, expect a counter trend move towards 10K to 11K before any big downtrend. So he's saying we could maybe even get a fake out all the way up to $10,000 before having the pullback. But if you think that you're going to FOMO buy at 10K, then why not just buy now instead? And one of my favorite tweets from over the weekend was this from Jacob Canfield. Actually retweeted this. He says, now listen to this. The halving is priced in so much that it's actually not priced in, and no one is buying Bitcoin except the smart money who knows it's not priced in, who has convinced everyone else it is priced in. So when the halving occurs and price is skyrocketing, no one will be holding Bitcoin. Whoa. Do not get caught on the wrong side of the fence, my friends. We know what smart money is doing. Now, having a look at this CNBC FUD, right? So this came out over here on Reddit, and essentially, this person pointed out the fact that CNBC essentially keeps posting the same article. Majority of Bitcoin trading is a hoax, a study finds. You can see this came out on October 10th, December 7th, and apparently it has come out yet again. Now, I wasn't sure if this was just somebody posting this, if it was fake news. I actually went over and looked at CNBC. You can see right here, they did in fact post it. And if you click on this link, it does take you to the March 22nd of 2019 article. So why are they still posting this? Why do they keep posting the same articles? Are they just being lazy? Are they trying to spread FUD? Well, we do know that, yes, a lot of the volume is in fact not true, which is why we go over to things like Masari, on-chain effects. We do look at the real 10 volume, right? But I just thought that was interesting. But once again, bringing it back to my buddy Jacob Canfield, who we did have on the channel the other day, if you didn't get a chance to check out that video, he put this out and essentially said that if you counter trade counter trade, whatever CNBC says, you have a 95% chance for having a good trade. Essentially, if they're saying buy now, sell now, there's a 95% chance you'll get the trade right. If they're saying to sell now, buy now, or long Bitcoin, essentially, there's a 95% chance that you'll be right. And you can see, essentially, he posted this, and it's incredible how, basically during 2017, 2018, if you had basically just done the opposite of everything that CNBC said, you would be doing quite well. So shout out to Jacob for taking the time to put together this chart. But, having a look essentially at what Crypto Burb is referring to as the golden setup. Do not forget, guys, we do in fact have the bullish cross, the golden cross on the weekly we've been talking about. We are staying above this sort of, purple trend, and we did put it in, first time we put it in was down here around $5.14, and up until the next, basically death cross, we went up to $319. Not to mention we had a $1,100 Bitcoin at the peak. We put it in again here May of 2016. That was obviously leading all the way up to the 2017 crazy bull, and now we are currently putting it in again. However, will it be as significant this time around? Well, time will tell, but global stock markets have gained another $7 billion this week in thin trading on Santa rally. All equities now worth $87.1 trillion, just $200 billion shy of fresh all-time high. Why am I talking about the stock markets? Well, they gained another $700 billion this week. Do you guys realize that the overall market cap of Bitcoin is $133 billion? The stock market gained 700 this week. If you don't think that it is that you're in early for Bitcoin, I don't know what you're waiting for. Not financial advice, but my goodness, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. And I can only imagine that people are really going to be kicking themselves for not buying more right now. Yes, we could dip a little bit lower, but most people are not very good at timing the bottom. And also, not to mention the fact during a time when we're actually seeing people like Chairman of the Federal Reserve Powell honestly, openly admitting that Bitcoin is potentially digital gold. And for all of you who need your memories sort of jump sparked, let me just play this quick clip for you super quick.
If a cryptocurrency system were to become prevalent throughout the globe, would that diminish or remove the need for a reserve currency in the traditional sense?
I think things like that are possible, but we really haven't seen them. We haven't seen widespread adoption. I mean, Bitcoin is a good example. Really, almost no one uses Bitcoin for payments. They use it more as an alternative to gold, really. It's a store of value. It's a speculative store of value, like gold. So we don't have, and people, of course, have been talking about this since cryptocurrencies emerged, but we haven't seen it. But that's not to say we won't see it. And if we do see it, yes, you could see a return to an era in the United States where we had many different currencies, and in the so-called, I guess, national banking era.
So arguably, they're not exactly jumping on the Bitcoin bandwagon saying, yes, it's going to be a world reserve currency, but just kind of acknowledging the fact that it is a store of value similar to that of gold. I do think it's a step in the right direction. Now, having a look right here, I do want to just mention some people were getting excited about XRP potentially being traded on TD Ameritrade or whatever. I think it's because this guy basically reached out and asked if they would be looking to list XRP. They responded and said, thank you for your interest. Currently, we offer Bitcoin futures on CME. We will continue to monitor that market and consider additional opportunities going forward. So they're saying they're considering it. I just don't want people to jump the gun and start basically spreading fake news. Now, obviously, guys, it was a crazy week last week, especially for crypto YouTube. Basically, every crypto YouTuber had a strike. I was one that did not get a strike, fortunately. I don't know what it was about my channel, but thank the gods of YouTube that they did not give me a strike. I was able to continue making content last week, but unfortunately, a lot of crypto YouTubers were not able to. And the thing was, there were these scams that were going during the entire time. And I actually posted this and I said, YouTubers like Mr. Christoph and Crypto are still unable to post after YouTube's accidental crypto ban, while actual scams like the Ethereum giveaway have literally been scamming people of their money. By the way, Crypto did get his channel back this morning. I think Mr. Christoph is still waiting. I hope he gets his channel back. But you could see right here, I mean, look at what these guys were basically scamming people out of. You had the 309 Litecoin were scammed from users. Down here, you had 213 ETH that was scammed from users, okay? And YouTube wasn't doing anything about that. Now, currently, if you click on this link, it does say video unavailable, but it says the video has been removed by the user, not by YouTube. So once again, I'd really like to see YouTube stepping in and actually tackling the real scams and, not taking down just like regular crypto YouTube videos. You know what I'm trying to say? So basically that's that situation. So a few bit of news. Let's get on out of here. Coinbase wallet, essentially, may soon have to remove its DApp browsing feature. So more censorship, right? According to Coinbase, it's removing this DApp browser functionality in order to comply with the App Store policy. So CEO Brian Armstrong basically suggested that Apple seems to be eliminating usage of dApps from the App Store. Earlier this week, MetaMask, right? That got delisted from Google, and basically they rejected an appeal from MetaMask when they tried to explain to them this has nothing to do with mining. It's simply a Web3 wallet, right? But what are you going to do when you're dealing with these centralized, people? That's what happens. Okay, here's another story. Don't get excited. An application for a blockchain-focused exchange-traded fund or an ETF has been filed with China's security regulator. No, this is not a Bitcoin ETF. The proposal is for an ETF that would track performance of a basket of publicly listed stocks from businesses in the blockchain sector. Once again, don't get the news twisted, guys, but if approved, it would be China's first blockchain-themed ETF, but this is not a Bitcoin ETF, okay? Just keep that in mind. Some good news, though. We do have Square's payments app, Cash App, is seemingly going to expand its Bitcoin-related services. It looks like they had a little bit of a post on LinkedIn looking for a project manager. It says you will own the crypto investing product and be entirely responsible for growing its adoption in whatever way you see fit, which could include tried and true growth tactics, new functionality like limit orders, auto invest, or building entirely new features like Bitcoin gifting, P2P sharing. So on that note, I think we'll end today's video. We do have a Ledger Nano S to give away. Actually, we have the Ledger Nano S, Ledger Nano X pack to give away. So we had 6 videos last week. I'm sorry. So we have to do this out of 6. So let's generate. So that is, video number 1. So that is Monday's video. All right. That was the Bitcoin Christmas dump, the CME gap that never filled, and this was the start, essentially, of the YouTube attacks, right? That was the day that it started happening. So let's check out here what's going on, guys. Let's see how many comments we have for the Ledger Nano bundle. Oh my goodness, 790 comments. Wow, that is a lot of comments, guys. A lot of people, a lot of opportunities for this. So let's see. Yemen, love it. That's good enough. Technically, you are the winner. You didn't ask for the Ledger Nano S, but keep in mind, you do have 24 hours to claim it. If you do not claim it, Yemen 435, then we are going to be giving these away to somebody else. So, which means in that case, today's video would make you eligible if Yemen doesn't claim. But if you are interested in claiming it, official Telegram or About Me section is the only way. But that's it for me today, guys. Let's have one quick look. What's Bitcoin doing? All right, looks like we had a low at around the 7,248, and currently we are trying to pump up. So we'll see if we can hold. We'll see if we can hold, guys. Let me know what you think about Bitcoin. Essentially having that golden opportunity, the golden setup, and let me know what you think about that buy signal over on the hash ribbon. So, guys, that is it for me. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.